The scent of roses hit me first, a sickeningly sweet aroma that usually made my heart flutter. Not today. Today, it felt like a punch to the gut. Allison stood on the porch, a bouquet of crimson roses clutched in her hand, a smug smile playing on her lips. She'd probably just come from him, the man she'd been seeing for the past 6 months, the one she thought I didn't know about. She looked like a woman who'd just finished a delicious meal, satisfied and brimming with a twisted sort of joy. She had her key halfway to the lock when she saw it, the note, taped haphazardly to the front door. The smugness instantly evaporated, replaced by a look of confusion, then a flicker of something like fear. She froze, her hands suspended in midair, the roses drooping slightly. Good. Let her sweat. I watched from the living room window, a glass of scotch swirling in my hand, the amber liquid mirroring the turmoil inside me. I'd spent weeks, no, months, building up to this moment, carefully crafting my revenge, meticulously planning each step, making sure she wouldn't see it coming. It wasn't a violent revenge, not like in the movies. It was a calculated dismantling of her world, piece by agonizing piece. The note was simple, elegant even. Typed on crisp white paper, it read, "Allison, we need to talk. Meet me inside, on the couch." No name, no flourish. Just a direct, chilling invitation. She hesitated for a moment, glancing around, probably wondering if I was watching. Then, she pushed the key into the lock, opened the door, and stepped inside. The roses, so vibrant just moments ago, now looked like funeral flowers, their crimson a perfect match to the fire she was about to walk into. She didn't immediately see me. I was in my usual chair, bathed in the dim light of the setting sun, a figure almost swallowed by the shadows. She called out my name, her voice a little too high, a little too bright. "Michael, is that you? What's this note about?" I let her stew for a moment, letting the silence stretch out, thick and heavy. Then, I took a slow sip of my scotch, the clinking of the glass the only sound in the room. I finally looked at her, meeting her gaze with a calmness that surprised even me. "It's about us, Allison. About what we've been doing these past few months." Her eyes widened. "What are you talking about? I don't understand." The lie slipped easily off her tongue, like a well-rehearsed line in a play. "Really?" I asked, my voice soft, dangerously so. "Then why don't you explain to me why your credit card statements show repeated purchases at the Rose Garden every Tuesday evening? Why your phone GPS shows you parked at the Maple Inn every Thursday afternoon? And more interesting, why your secret phone, the one you thought I didn't know about, has messages from Joe, saying things no married woman should ever say?" The color drained from her face. The roses fell from her hand, scattering onto the floor like fallen soldiers. I could see her mind working, desperately trying to find a way out, a lie, any lie that could pull her back from the brink. "Michael, this isn't what it looks like." The pathetic attempt at denial sounded hollow even to my ears. I picked up the remote and pressed play. The TV screen flickered to life, showing a video of her, laughing, her face flushed, her hand in Joe's. It was a compilation of videos and photos I'd painstakingly collected, a visual testament to her betrayal. The video played, revealing the breadth of her deception, her kisses, her caresses, her whispered promises to another man. With each frame, her face crumpled further, her mask of innocence shattering into 1,000 pieces. She was speechless, her eyes darting between the screen and me, desperately seeking an escape. "I've had a few months to think about this, Allison," I said, my voice even, controlled. "I've spent hours piecing it all together, watching you, listening to you, and knowing all the while that you were lying to my face. It was like watching a soap opera, but the joke was always on me." "Michael, please," she finally managed, tears welling up in her eyes. "I'm sorry. I don't know why I did it. It just happened. It just happened," I echoed, a bitter laugh escaping my lips. "You made a conscious decision, Allison, every single time you lied to me, every single time you met him. It didn't just happen. You chose it." Then, I gestured to a stack of papers on the coffee table. "Those are the divorce papers, Allison. They're all filled out. I even included a full breakdown of all our finances, nothing left hidden, unlike you. I've taken the liberty of hiring a lawyer. She'll be in touch with you tomorrow. We'll finalize this all quickly and painlessly. For me at least." She stumbled towards me, reaching for my hand. I recoiled as if I'd been burned. "Michael, please, we can work through this. We can go to therapy, we can. I love you. You love me, I said, the words dripping with sarcasm. You have a very strange way of showing it. The love you showed me was nothing but a lie. You were playing a role, and now the curtain has closed. The play is over. I stood up, towering over her, the last vestiges of sadness replaced by a cold, detached fury. But you're not going to be left completely empty-handed. All those new purses, the fancy dinners, the nights out with your girlfriends that you were really spending with Joe, are all yours to keep. The credit cards are all cancelled effective midnight, but I assume you've saved some for a rainy day, right? After all, you're a very smart woman, aren't you? Her face was a mask of despair, tears streaming down her cheeks, mascara running in dark streaks. I had never seen her look so broken. And, strangely, it didn't bring me any joy. It just made me feel empty. She begged, she pleaded, she swore she'd change, but my mind was made up. There was no going back from this. I led her to the door, and without another word, I opened it, motioning for her to leave. She stood there, frozen, staring at me with pleading eyes. Go, Allison. You don't belong here anymore, I said, my voice flat, devoid of emotion. And maybe, just maybe, someday you'll understand the magnitude of what you did. She slowly, reluctantly, stepped outside, the bouquet of dead roses still scattered at her feet. I watched as she walked away, her figure shrinking with each step, until she was nothing but a small, insignificant speck in the distance. I closed the door, locked it, and turned back to the empty house, a silence deafening in its totality. It wasn't a victory, not really. It was more like a cleansing, a necessary surgery to remove a festering wound. The pain was still there, raw and visceral, but now there was also a strange sense of peace. I had faced my betrayal, and now, I was finally free. I walked into the living room, gathered all the things that reminded me of her, put them in a box, and went to the garage where I stored them. She was a ghost, now, a memory that would one day fade. I poured myself another drink, sat in my chair, and looked out the window at the setting sun. The day was almost over. Tomorrow would be another day.